For me, I think being a good leader is just being good support. We employ people because they're great at what they do, and we also have a really good program of bringing young people through, and they need support in a different way to get the skills that they ultimately need to do the job. But for me, support comes in many forms, and the bit that I suppose I don't talk a lot about, but I think it's the thing that I add to the equation, is that every single one of the people we employ is different in their own way, and at times will need support in a different way to the person next to them. You know, some people need an arm around the shoulder, to use the Alex Ferguson mentality, and some people need the hairdryer. You know, and I think knowing the difference and knowing what people respond to and what gets the best out of people is really important. You know, we take a great deal of time getting to know our people well.
Well, I mean, my sort of perspective on it was actually very similar to yours. It's sort of getting the most out of the potential that people have. I mean, obviously in the setup we have extremely talented players, but it's trying to get the best out of them on a game day or in a training session where they're not really feeling up to it. You know, it's the same sort of thing. We're trying to find out if someone needs that, like you say, an arm around the shoulder, or if they need that kick up the backside to trying to get them actually performing properly. You know, because you see people come in and they're not having a good day, or then they're actually flying, they're doing really well, but it's that ability to know when and how to pick them up and drag them into a high performance.
Know the difference.
Exactly, yeah. In practice, it's basically just sort of conveying messages that have been passed on from the coaches down to us, and then we pass it on. But then obviously the other way around is any issues that we have from players that go through us, and then we pass them on to the coaches or the necessary staff. Most of my job is actually pretty easy, you know, give them a little shout before the game, make sure all the water bottles are filled up, that sort of stuff. But then I think one of the most challenging things is that bridge between them. Is I know how busy the coaches are and the managers are and stuff like that. So if you've got 3 or 4 people coming up to you saying what we're doing there, how we're doing this, when we're doing that, it's that sort of knowledge to go, actually, you know what, they don't need to know that right now. They'll let the coaches do their thing, we'll let the staff do their thing, and we'll might bring it up at a later date or later in the training session or something like that. But sometimes it can get a little bit, people sort of nagging at you, asking you loads of questions as if they've got all the answers. Sometimes you just have to say, I don't know, and that can be a little bit challenging sometimes, because I'd like to give them all the answers, but sometimes it just doesn't work.
I feel the same as you, Joachim. It's easier than doing the work.
Yeah.
You know, making sure people are motivated to do the work. And I sort of see myself as a bit of a butterfly, really. I'll land on quite a lot of things, but not for very long. And just, you know, there's times where, because you know the people well, you can see if they're having a challenge that day that they're struggling with. And you know, my job occasionally is to just see through that and just remind them that they're fantastic at what they do, and trust the process, as you said earlier.
Yeah.
Trust in what you do, and you'll get there, and we'll do some great stuff like we always do. So yeah, it's really just to keep reminding people to stay positive and trust themselves.
Will and Jamie, the other 2 captains, they are very, very helpful, and it is a huge strength, the fact that we have 3 of us. But I think part of the reason why I think my job's easy is because I only have to deal with sort of a third of the whole job. My job is I'm much more of a vocal leader. You know, team talk before matches and shouting at people to get out of the changing room on time, that sort of thing. But Jamie and Will, they deal a lot more with the personal side of passing those sort of messages on to the staff and dealing with players individually and trying to get people who aren't really having a great day to really focusing on that personal side. So having a sort of a trio of captains, we can all focus on our strengths, and focusing on our strengths allows us to be much stronger than, you know, the sum of its parts. We're a much stronger trio than we would be individually.
Yeah, no, it's very similar for me. We have a great leadership team, and those people, although they mock me when we bring out these great new mantras, and you've put it low today, which I really like. You know, trust the process and those type of things. We have things like get further faster, and you know, excellence through innovation, and they can at the beginning seem like words, and people, you know, you get the odd person cringing, another analogy, but actually they get repeated back to you after time, and they become a way of being, and it's all part of that trusting the process and what we do, and believing in yourself.